si NEDA Chief Carl Chua has flagged the long-term cost of the online schooling that we're taking on, no?
Yes.
And how this would amount to something like 11 trillion over the next 40 years in terms of productivity loss. So now that you're talking about minimum competencies, can you explain to us exactly what is lost with
Yes.
this online or blended learning, if you will? Yeah.
Yeah. I was asked that question also this morning. What did we lose? When we talk blended learning, it also includes face-to-face sessions. But these face-to-face sessions have to be adjusted. Even in other countries to whom we look up and whom we admire greatly for their advances in education, are not doing face-to-face the way we during our time, me during my time, looked at face-to-face. We don't think of face-to-face sessions on a daily basis, 5 days a week, for example, or staying inside the schoolroom or running around the campus the entire day. Face-to-face is still limited. And we see this being done in other countries because of the health considerations. We have face-to-face sessions with only 2 days. We have countries with face-to-face sessions with only 1 day to give the children the opportunity to meet with each other and also with their teachers. So, in the words of Galadriel, things are really changing. And this COVID had a major role in all these changes. And we have to move along with these changes, of course. And so,
But how do we compensate to make sure that the quality of education
yes,
remains
yes.
high? No.
Excellent question. That is, of course, on the assumption that the quality of our education was high in the first place.
Yes,
And
I know. Yes.
Which is a matter of debate. And I always say, and I joke, that as Secretary of Education, I'm not responsible for the state of grammar of the adults because they were not our students. Or the capacity to add 1+1, they were not our students during that time. Our students are those in basic education at present. And so even before COVID, remember Lucy Pisa? Everybody was wailing and weeping and gnashing their teeth because we were at the bottom of the list. As early as that time, we already decided that we would shift to quality education. Yung tawag namin edukalidad, and we had all those press conference, all the materials. We studied the results of the PISA examinations. We had very lengthy. I met myself with the organizer, the person in charge of the PISA enterprise, not the Tower of PISA. My undersecretary went to London also to talk with him. We met again in Thailand so that we could discuss what best we can do to respond to the situation in the Philippines. So even before COVID, we were already shifting. You will recall in your files that we announced.
Well, yes, we do accept that. We do accept that. But now, do you accept that it's even worse now because of online? No? I mean, you've got to accept it must have deteriorated further. So I guess the question really
that's
is
difficult to tell at this time, Lucio, and we are looking into it because we are looking at studies which examine other means of sharing learning. There are children who learn faster, who learn a great deal on their own. Tawag natin yan ay self-learning modules. The important thing is to teach children to think for themselves, to analyze for themselves, to raise questions for themselves. That is in the law. on senior high school. Secondly, children should be taught, according to the law, that they should work together because solutions to problems cannot be solved by one pupil or one learner alone. And thirdly, of course, they have to keep up with technology because technology is on the move. And we have to be aware of all these developments, even as we want to remain human and humane.
Ma'am,
So,
Yes, sir.
we
Ma'am,
can
but,
say maybe we can say, okay, lalong nagde-deteriorate, but we have to find out first. We have to test. And insofar as graduation is concerned, we had very, very high levels of graduation. It's not as if we did not know what was happening even before we assumed the office of Secretary of Education. It's not as if we did not know the results of the PISA exams. We learned, we knew about the PISA exams. Even without the PISA exams, we had an idea of what the situation in education is.